In the last video, we talked about certain matrix operations, matrices, and commutative property. And we since it is not commutative, the matrix multiplication is not commutative. BA and AB means different. So when to say AB and when to say BA, it must actually differentiate. Whenever we are trying to say something about it, they should be differentiable. So when it is AB, we particularly say that A is pre-multiplied with. A is pre-multiplied with. Either we will say this or we say multiplied from left of B. So this is the way one should write the multiplication, or one should say something about the multiplication. So we are trying to express the direction from which the multiplication has to happen. Similarly, if you want to say with respect to B, we will say B is post multiplied with A or multiplied from right of A. So that is the importance thing, means there is a direction associated to the operation. So we have to be careful about it. Now coming to the associative property, the associative property says that the order of multiplication is not important. So uh, there also we are looking at order, and here also we are going to see the order. But the order there in the commutative property was the sequence of, or which is pre-multiplied and which is post-multiplied, while in the associative property the order means which multiplication should be done first and which multiplication should be done second. So the first multiplication in this particular case is AB, and then that the product is actually multiplied with C. While in case of this particular one, BC, the multiplication of BC is done first and then A is multiplied with BC. So there is no difference in these two things, and that's why there is a associative property between in the multiplication, matrix multiplication, which is also followed in case of addition. So matrix addition also follows the associative property. Matrix multiplication also follows the uh, distributive associative property. Now, coming to the distributive property, again, there is a sense of direction. So, since there is a sense of direction, we say the matrix multiplication is right distributive. So, you just see it, it's right distributive. So, here I have written wrong, so I will update the notes accordingly. And it is right distributive. So, C matrix multiplication is right distributive over the matrix addition, while in the other particular case we say that the matrix multiplication is left distributive over matrix addition. So basically, we since both the things are there, the matrix multiplication is distributive, right distributive as well as the left distributive, so we can drop the direction, and we can say the matrix multiplication is distributive over matrix addition. So that is okay to say. But remember, the multiplication direction is still important and they are distinct. So these two expression will be different if a plus, means somehow you could have said c times b plus d or something like that. So in that case, these two things, they separately are not same, they separately are different. Now I'm trying to make sense of multiplicative identity. So any operation has these kind of properties. You can have identity for that particular operation, you can have additive element for that operation, you can have uh, basically additive identity you have, or you may have associative property, commutative property, distributive property. All those properties you can have for any type of operations. So when we want to talk about but identity, we have to tell the operation name with respect to what operation you are looking for the identity. So here we are looking for the multiplicative identity of matrix multiplication. So when you are saying the matrix multiplication, so if it may be any matrix, it may be any matrix denoted by some I, and when it is multiplied from the left, it should give the matrix again itself. Similarly, if you multiply another matrix, it may be different, and multiplied from the right hand side, it should also give the same thing. So left identity and the right identity may not be same, because, or in this particular case, you can see like, if the size of A is m cross n, then to define the multiplication, the size of left multiplicative identity should be m cross m, while right identity must be n cross n. And that's why they are different, and still they are identities, because they result into the same matrix after being multiplied. Coming to the multiplicative inverse, the multiplicative inverse on is defined only if the identity element is defined. So multiplicative identity comes first, and then the multiplicative inverse comes into picture. So it's multiplicative inverse is generally defined only, in fact is defined for square matrices only. So it's not defined uh, on the rectangular matrices. So it's not defined on the rectangular matrices, it is defined only on the square matrices. So it is defined in such a way that if maybe B is a inverse of A, then B times A is equals to identity matrix of, and is equals to the A times B. And many times we represent the inverse of A by A to the power minus 1. That's the notation associated with the inverse. Now, if you are looking at simultaneous system of linear equations, we have already reached to the Ax is equals to B part, wherein we multiply a matrix to a vector and then it gives another vector, B vector. Now, understanding this thing also, so you take that Ax plus B and then you pre-multiply it with A inverse. Now, since the matrix multiplication is commutative or associative, so that is why you can actually do any operation first, any multiplication first, the another multiplication can be done later. So A inverse A is done first, and that, since the definition of the identity matrix or the definition of the inverse says that A inverse A should give you I. So that becomes I here. And the definition of identity matrix says that if identity matrix multiplied with any matrix, it will give the same matrix, and that's why this comes into picture. So if A inverse exists, so then X can be equals to A inverse of B, A inverse times B. Now let us just consider try to understand the three cases that we have seen in earlier videos, that we have three cases. One is for unique solution, another is for no solution, another is for infinite number of many solutions. Now look at the matrix A. Let the matrix A be is this one, be this one. Let this is the matrix. Now the A inverse is, let us suppose that A inverse is defined like that. The first thing that we should check that A into A inverse, well, that gives you identity matrix or not, or A inverse A is giving you identity matrix or not. So if both the things are happening, then yes, this could be A inverse of this matrix. So we can actually check out whether this is so or not. But you notice that A inverse exists. A inverse exists only if this is not 0. Only if this portion is not 0. So if this portion is 0, then you cannot say that A inverse exists. This is a problematic area. But you can actually look at the portion. If you say that this is 0, then this fraction should actually is important. Okay, so that's not coming, so let me okay, let me go back. So this fraction comes out if you have if you have if you treat that equals to 0, that this fraction comes out, which is the same fraction that you have already seen in case of infinite number of solutions or uh, no solutions. So there is an inherent meaning that if there is a infinite number of solutions or zero solution, then A inverse will not exist. If A inverse will not exist, then possibly A inverse B will not be able to give you the answer or give you the solution. So if A inverse is not does not exist, then matrix is not invertible, singular matrix, and sometimes is also called irregular matrix. While if the A inverse exists, then we say it's a regular, invertible, non-singular matrix. Thank you.